On guys, teacher Eli here, and today we are going to basically correct the first exercises of lesson number 3, alright? And I'm also going to explain to you guys a new subject, the modal verbs, and assign you guys more exercises for next week. Without further ado, let's get started. And first here the corrections, right? The first activity, you had to basically put P for the positive and N for negative characteristics, and here you have the list. I explained the characteristics for you guys last week, and here are some examples of different characteristics. Patient, which is positive, paciente, insensitive, negative, insensível, dependent, dependente, negative, stable, estável, which is a positive characteristic, irritable, irritável, which is a negative characteristic, and bad-tempered, com temperamento ruim, this is a negative characteristic. Here, what does the adjective describe? It describes, this adjectives describes psychological traits, traços psicológicos. Someone who is usually in a good mood, easygoing, funny or optimistic. Alguém que está geralmente de bom humor. Someone who tells jokes, funny. Alguém que conta piadas. Someone who accomplishes what they say. Alguém que cumpre o que fala. Reliable, confiável, responsible, determined. Someone who likes to tell people what to do. Bossy, mandão. Someone who wants to be successful in whatever he or she does is determined or ambitious, determinado, ambicioso. Someone who pays attention to other people's feelings is attentive, sensitive, or considerate. Someone who likes to give presents is generous or a gift giver. Someone who likes to work and works a lot is hardworking and responsible. Someone who gets angry and annoyed when waiting for something is basically impatient or bad temper or irritable, right? Someone whom you can trust with a secret is trustworthy or reliable. Someone who acts shyly when someone accomplishes him or her is reserved, timid, or modest, right? Here you also had to answer, pick 3 members of your family and choose adjectives that best describe them. My wife is pretty, my mom is impatient, my dad is reliable, for example. All right, guys? Well, for the lesson of today, I want you guys to take a look here on pages 40, 41. Starting on page 41 here, let me zoom it in. And today we're going to talk about modals, all right? So the verbs will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, and have to, they are usually called modal auxiliaries. You probably have used, seen, or heard them in your English classes. They are used with other verbs to express permission, possibilities, and certainly abilities, wishes, obligations, etc. They may also express simple future. The same modal verb can be used to express different things. Study these examples right here. I can play the guitar and I can speak Spanish and English. It expresses ability. The ability to play the guitar, the ability to speak English and Spanish. Can you do me a favor? Open the window, please. This is a polite request. I'm asking for something, not expressing an ability. Julie would be an extraordinary companion for Gaby in Brazil. This is a possibility. She would be, I'm not sure she will or that is going to happen, but I'm expressing a possibility. Would you give me John's phone number? A polite request. When you want to be educated, when you want to be polite, that's the way you're going to request something. Would you give John's phone number by any chance? I must go now. I have to do my homework. Must expresses obligation. You must go to Pantanal next vacation. It's just wonderful there. This is a suggestion. I'm not saying that it's an obligation, but it's actually really, really good. It's so good that you must go there as my suggestion here. Alan is not in the class today. He must be sick. This is a probability. It's a high probability. He must be sick. He's always in class. Why he's not here? He must be sick. Probably something wrong with him. Should I call my English teacher and tell her that I'll be late? This is you're asking for an advice. Should I stay or should I go? Should I make shorter or longer videos? I'm asking for advice, for recommendations there. Lucas is going to study during the weekend. He should do well on the exam. This is a probability or an expectation based on facts. Julie might travel to Brazil with Gaby. This is a possibility. Always might is going to be possibility and probabilities. It might rain today. The weather looks kind of dark. And finally, you should or you could talk to Mr. Tavares about your problem. This is a suggestion or an advice using should. Well, I'm going to explain you guys better how to use the modal verbs, and based upon this, you're going to answer these exercises here from page 41, okay, and 42, 3, and 42, 4. You're going to answer all these exercises, which I'm going to correct next week, all right? But teacher, I don't understand well how to use the modal verbs. All right, to help you out answering these exercises, I have an explanation right here that I'm also going to post for those who are interested, right? Okay. Let me just organize here. There we have it. Command A. Okay. So, can or can't, the most common one used to talk about abilities, possibilities, and permission. It offers suggestions, offers and suggestions. Can is considered to be an informal modal and is used in present tenses. Example of ability, can you drive? Oh my God, you're not even 18. What instruments can you play? Can you do that combo in Mortal Kombat? My sister can edit photos with Photoshop really well. These are examples of possibility and permission. Down here, let me just, yep, there you go. Permission here and possibility. I think I can't go to the party. I have homework to do. My dad can't buy a new car because of the economic crisis. The stores in this city can't open because of the quarantine. In Holland, people can freely buy marijuana in coffee shops. So for examples of suggestions, I can't lend you my father's car, he would kill me. We can go to Velvet on the weekend, there will be international DJs. Now let's use couldn't. Couldn't is considered to be more formal or polite than can, however is used in basically the same situations but for past tenses instead. Example of ability here, he couldn't drive last year, he was under the age, now he can. What instruments could you play when you were a child? I could do that combo easily when I was used to practice a lot. Examples of possibility and permission right here. It could be an earthquake. We're in Japan. We could ask our teacher for anything. He's really cool. Example of polite offers or polite obligations. I could only lend you my book till next month. Perhaps we could talk to Mr. Sanders. I think he can help us. Polite question or request. We're going to use could as well. Could you hold on a minute? I'll check if she is here. May, might, and must. May or may not is used to talk about ideas, about present or immediate future. Possibility about a not so long future. We may get tired soon if we keep going. Permission referring to immediate present. May I talk to you? Polite suggestion. It's the most polite form of suggestion. May I help you with your luggage, miss? With your luggage, miss? Might or might not. It's used to talk about ideas in the present, past, and also to represent probability. A possibility about an unsure past. The party might have ended already, generally used with present perfect. Unsure offered, I might get this. Oh, sorry, it's a question. So might I get this? Might I get this ring light? Might I use this ring light here? Mustn't use it for obligations or when obligations are strong. For example, necessity or obligation, children must go to school in Brazil because it's an actual law. A possibility made by deduction, you must be proud of yourself. That's an amazing song you composed. Advice or recommendation, you must drive about 30 minutes southwest before you get to the 280 highway. A prohibition, people mustn't smoke here. It is a closed area. The students mustn't talk during the exam. Their test will be taken away. Right? Here we have unusual models that are need not, ought to. Need not is used to represent lack of necessity. You need not to rush into things. We are in no hurry. Ought to shows obligation in advice and suggestions. For example, children ought to respect their elders, or we ought to tax declare every April. Shall, used for polite suggestions. Shall we get started? It's getting late. Should or shouldn't, it's very similar to ought to, without the obligation meaning. You should watch Euphoria from HBO. That's an amazing series, dude. Will and won't are used to talk about future. For example, request, will you please keep calm? A prediction, Flamengo will be the champion again this year. The team is great. A promise, I won't let you down. You can trust me. Spontaneous decision, who will help the teacher today? And the person says, I will, spontaneously at the moment. Describing habits, the Brazilian people will drink about 1 liter of beer per person this year in average because they drink a lot. Wouldn't is generally associated with the past. So request or demand, would you give me a diamond ring if you had the money? Or past habits that you no longer have, I would dance here for hours when I was younger. So guys, use my explanations. Take a look in the modal verbs right here. Mainly these ones can, would, must, should, and try to complete the exercises. I'm gonna stay safe at home, and I hope you guys stay tuned. Catch you guys next time. Later.